the certainty of where our money will come from next month and the month after that became less and less and less. And we saw it in COVID, really people were spending, and all of a sudden they got a fright because there's a lockdown, and they just pulled all their advertising spend, or they put their sponsorships on hold.
Wealth Talks is proudly brought to you by Allan Gray. True rewards take time. 99 FM, your inspiration station. It's another day for Wealth Talks here on the show, brought to you by Allan Gray. Stefan Hugo is the CEO of One Africa TV and its holding company, Tribefire Studios, a former PwC Namibia partner, a proud Namibian and African. Now, he is devoted to doing business with positive purpose and believes in developing people to form strong teams that tell authentic stories and deliver quality services that add exceptional value to our communities. He joins me for the first time, by the way, on the show in the studio to talk about, his personal money story, and also, as CEO, how the company has been navigating during this pandemic. So thank you so much, Stefan, for joining us on Wealth Talk today.
Great, Teresa. It's nice to be here with you.
It's a pleasure to have you. Stefan, please tell us, what is your personal money story and how does it translate your approach to finances as CEO?
Teresa, so I think my personal money story started in one way. It sort of developed throughout my life, but I think personally in terms of money, there's two things that I've learned and that I sort of let myself be guided by. The one thing is to say, treat it with respect, live frugally. The other thing is to make sure that you always have money, but know when is it enough.
Yeah, I love that. The media sector, Stefan, was one of the sectors hardest hit by this pandemic. Can you tell us how One Africa TV and Tribefire Studios as a whole managed to stay afloat during this time?
Teresa, sometimes I look back and I don't know how we managed, but we did manage.
We did. We really did.
We followed a process which was, I think, be very, very open with everyone in the team. And really, we pulled through because everyone in the organization decided to pull through and pull together. So we went through a process and we looked at our expenses and we said, where can we save? Then we went to our suppliers, and there's a lot of people that we've had long relationships with. They did come to the party, and some gave us discounts, some gave us some extensions that we didn't have to pay for some months, so that helped us with cash flow. And we managed like that until we got to the point where we realized, okay, we will have to reduce salaries. And then the management team reduced salaries, and then everybody else reduced salaries for a couple of months, and that actually helped us to pull through. So it really was, being frugal in how we spent, getting everyone in the team to buy in, and then we had some clients that have been loyal to us and that kept on spending with us. A few that went on straight through COVID, even though they were in trouble. Also, they kept on spending with us, so that's something to be thankful for.
Yeah, definitely. Stefan, what are some of the hurdles the company faced post-pandemic? I think there were quite a few, but could you outline some of those hurdles that the company faced post-pandemic?
I think in media, generally, it's highlighted post-pandemic more, but what happened with media over time is the certainty of where our money will come from next month and the month after that became less and less and less. And we saw it in COVID, really people were spending, and all of a sudden they got a fright because there's a lockdown, and they just pulled all their advertising spend, or they put their sponsorships on hold. So the uncertainty in terms of revenue and where money is coming from is one of the big things that we need to deal with in media, and to find ways around that, because our expenses are very certain, and we want to be certain of salaries every month, and the costs that we have to run a broadcast operation is always there. So revenue certainty is definitely one of the things. I think in media we're getting used to being in a disrupted industry where things change all the time. There's new platforms, there's new ways that people are doing and disseminating
and advertising.
Media. And advertising, and we need to understand that and adjust our products and adjust the way that we do things. So I think that's an ongoing challenge that in this industry, and all of us that work in media will have to deal with. It's learning to be very agile and moving with trends all the time.
And also adapting to those trends. And I think it's also important to note that, especially now with everything moving online and everything happening online, for media, institutes to also rethink how they go about, putting out their business and how they advertise their products as well, finding a new and fresher way to appeal newer clients and also new customers to your brand. Stefan, how does Tribefire Studios and its affiliate companies invest funds and stay prepared for the future? We all know, like you just said now, things can change very quickly in the media industry. So how does Tribefire Studio stay prepared for the future in that regard?
So Teresa, there's basics in terms of financial management. Is budget and plan as well as you can.
Yeah.
Stick to your budget. Don't go over it. Don't spend unnecessary money. And respect your clients. Build relationships with them. Understand them very well, and make sure that you offer a solution and something meaningful to them, and that it keeps on being meaningful and of value to them. And then I think very relevant for our industry to understand the trends. If you look at the trends in media, the new trends are out there as a resistance to advertising, because digital made that we are absolutely bombarded with ads all the time, and as human beings, you will see for yourself. You'll scroll through something, you actually don't see ads anymore. So I think there will be a new shift to advertising, communication, brand messages that are really clever, and that can be sticky again in this very noisy digital marketing space. And then with that resistance to advertising, I think what you see a lot of is not only selling products, but more brands that are positioning themselves around purpose and what is the place that we fulfill in the world, and how do we do that on a broader spectrum than simply just selling products. So you see interesting campaigns that I saw one of the retailers that advertised on 99, I heard the other day, running a GBV campaign. And they're talking about GBV, a very important issue, and it's just their logo is at the end. So there's lots of interesting things like that happening, and obviously that's where we should spend our time, and being part of that innovation and helping our clients to find their way through in this new media space, which is uncertain for everyone.
Yeah, it is. Stefan, what advice do you have, for media entities on how to build more sustainable business models? As CEO of One Africa TV and of Tribefire Studios, what advice do you have for such an entity?
I think in any business, Teresa, it is about offering a product of value. And in media, do we make a difference to the life of our audiences? Because, that's a product. They don't pay us for it, but it's a product that we offer. And we have to always be sure that we keep on doing that. And it's something that I feel very strongly about, to not, the audience is number one.
Yeah.
Then there is the relationships with your clients who pay the money, and it's something that you always need to protect. Then there's good financial control, and then it is to have a very agile, open mind and understand the trends and be willing to change and move along with that in the business models that you run. And sometimes that means that you need a different profile of people working in the organization who is able to adapt. People who are creative, who are good content creators, that understand clients and look at the trends in the right way so that they can help move the business along.
Yeah. Before I let you go, Stefan, I just want to, I want you to just again, our values here at Tribefire Studios. I think it's something really beautiful, something I think we should also share since I have you in studio right now. I don't want to embarrass myself. I know the first one. I know the last one. I don't know the middle one. Does it create hope? Can you just emphasize a bit on that for us?
Okay. So just before values, so normally with purpose, the reason why we exist, and that we broken down to write out our purpose sentence earlier this year, and to say we fire up minds for positive change, because as media we work in people's minds, and the things that we do, we want to lead want that to lead to positive change in people's minds,
Yeah.
so people can hear and they go and they change the world. In terms of our values, we've defined that in terms of questions.
Yeah.
So really what we say is every time you take a decision or you do something, you should ask yourself 3 questions. So the first one is, does it create hope?
Yes.
So we don't want to do things that make people anxious or depressed or despondent. We want to focus the energy that we put out there on creating hope with people. The second one, is there another way? And that really has to do with being innovative and finding creative solutions. And most of the times, if you feel like you're in a corner, there's a way out of there.
There is.
So we need to challenge ourselves to find a different way of doing things. And the last one is around fairness. So we need to ask, is it fair? And that fairness is in everything that we do. I mean, in relationships as employees with each other, are we being fair when we deal with our suppliers? Are we being fair?
Yeah.
Are we fair in the relationships that we have with our clients? It has to do with the network and the connections that we have in the world, and to really respect and protect the relationships that we have, and to make sure that we always deal with those in the right way.
I love that. Thank you so much, Stefan, for gracing the show today here on Wealth Talk. And if you are just tuning in right now and you missed out on this interview, guess what? You can go on of course, on the app and go rewind and listen to the interview. That's our Wealth Talk for today, brought to you by Allan Gray. Thank you so much once again, Stefan, for joining us on the show.